Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome along to the NLR Esports League for Season 3. We are here tonight for round number 4 of the Championship. No, we haven't gone back in a time warp. We are here for the rerun, of course, of the Hungarian Grand Prix. My name is James Head. I'm going to be taking to the stream, of course, as always, on this fine Sunday afternoon. Joining me in the comment box is not Mr. Aidan Carter. He has left me, I think, for another man. But joining me in the comment box is the man, the myth, the absolute Welsh goat. It is Mr. Iverbrin. Mike, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic, and it is great to be back in the comms box on a Sunday afternoon with you, James. Absolutely fantastic.
It is absolutely fantastic to have you alongside me for the final 3 rounds of the championship as well. If you're wondering why Aiden is not in the comment box, he's not going to be in the comment box for the rest of the season. He has more real life opportunities coming up. I believe he's taken an approach to Assetto Corsa, so that is why he is going to be doing team events. I know he's entering the Jimmy Broadbent event as well. So good luck with him and his future endeavours. We've got 3 rounds to go, though. Of course, round 4 the rerun, and then of course rounds 7 and 8 for Singapore and Brazil. It is a little bit confusing even for me coming into tonight, though. But FVR lead the way in the championship, and I'll give the go-ahead to the guys in just a second. But it's FVR out on top on 189, NLR in second on 166, JR in third on 102. These are before sewage reports actually come out. Sewage reports have not filtered through, so this could change. VRT in fourth on 67, with QRT in fifth on 61, ERT in sixth on 55, MNT in 7th on 43, GSP in 8th on 29, IRT in 9th on 18, and then PGS in 10th on 15 points. And I believe actually QRT, if I'm not mistaken, have a wrong point. I think they're on 67 points as well. No, actually, no, it is on 61 points. It is just a function that glitched, I think, on the one I tried to save a little bit earlier on, which was the glitched one. But, Mike, coming into tonight, FBR and NLR. NLR have had 2 fantastic weeks as of late. NLR only 23 points behind FBR. Should make for an interesting one here in Hungary.
Yep, definitely should make for an interesting one. I'm very intrigued by this battle in the midfield. Very close between a fair few teams. VRT, QRT, ERT, MNT is going to be very tight. But as you mentioned, NLR, they can continue to close that gap in the final few rounds. We could be in for a spicy championship battle.
Yeah, they really can. They really can. If people are wondering as well why we'll start a minute late, it's because we're running through the stream while having to try and cope with everyone who are absolutely on tenterhooks, I'm sure, to get this race underway. It is going to be clear weather as well. That is how the race was going to be. Of course, the rerun race that we had, it was full clear weather. So it's clear weather once again here tonight. And hopefully drivers do not forget their setups because there is no formation lap on, which means we get straight, of course, into the racing here in Hungary. And speaking of Hungary, let's have a look at the track map in question. It is 4.3 kilometres and then 2.7 mile. 14 turns away now, and drivers out on track with 2 DRS zones, one down the start finish range towards turn number 1. Skittle Alley, of course, from 2021 in the wet conditions, and then down in towards turn number 2 as well, which is a possible overtaking, a potential overtaking opportunity coming through the left-hander of 2 and then through the right-hander of turn number 3. And Mike, Hungary is a track where it's Monaco without the barriers, I think, is where it gets its name from. It should be an interesting race. We should see some good overtaking and hopefully some really good action.
Yep, we should see some plenty overtaking opportunities down in towards turn 1 and turn 2, as you mentioned. I'll be interested to see if we're going to see any overtaking into turn 4, because that can be if you get it right, that could be a beautiful overtake. You get it wrong, that could be a car rounding in the wall.
Definitely so, definitely so. Felix is telling everyone as well in the chat, as I've just done here live on the stream, do not forget your setups because it is going to be very, very interesting indeed in terms of how this one will progress here in Hungary. Of course, all of the points will be added up by the end of this race. So we will have an updated standings as well, plus the steward reports that are outstanding, of course, from last week. But drivers are clearly wanting to get on with things. I have a feeling people are not getting their setups in. It is going to be 30 seconds until the countdown. Quickly, Mike, what can we expect here in Hungary?
I expect a couple of lunges into turn 1, turn 2. I'm expecting a good amount of strategy variations as well. This is one of those tracks where track position is key. So will we see people go for the undercuts, overcuts, alternative strategies? Anything can happen.
Anything can and probably will happen. 5 lights are on, and it is Lights out and away we go. Better start by Kintix. Opek's going to have to try and go alongside him in towards turn 1, but Kintix is already ahead, even before he reaches turn number 1. Great move as well by Kieran to the inside line. Oh, there's a spinner in the background. That's an Aston Martin Marcel Grosny who was round. I'm not sure if there was a bit of contact or a bit of desync there. One of the two happened, but Kieran there in second, Opek there in third, as they run now down the hill and towards turn number 2. Trouble in the background as well for Tajin and Joachim, who was spun. So FBR already down at the back of the field with one of their drivers. GR Chris, however, is trying to go all the way around the outside of turn number 4. There's an out for a mile spinning off in the wall there. That's Fraser off on the thingy, and Kintux and Kieran are side by side coming through. Now the right hand return number 5, and this will be a brilliant move if Kieran can pull this one up, but it's not. There's a lot of contact. Oh my word, and there's a lot of desync going on here, potentially within the lobby, so that might mean a potential restart, I think. Absolute chaos it is. I think a safety car out on track as well. We'll bring that up to speed. Yeah, it is a safety car out on track. Everyone are called to the hard compound tyres. Goodness me, everyone is in the wall. I'm sure we are going to get a restart. I will be told if we are going to get a restart from this. But everyone on that set of cold compound tyres, apart from Max Power, who is on that set of mediums, absolute carnage on that one, and a safety car deployed.
Yeah, absolute chaos on our opening lap. Literally, cars going off left, right, and centre. Fraser, I mean, we saw him go off at turn 3. Very fortunate, he just about kept it out of the walls.
Yeah, just about kept it out the walls, indeed. Your own saying there has to be a restart. My friend the Guys has to say this has to be a restart as well. So that means, I think we could be restarting potentially. I'll be given the full word from it, but I can see from our angle, certainly, and the cameras that we've got, is that there was a lot of desync and a lot of drivers spearing off into the wall. Fraser was in the wall, Kintix out of the race as well, Max van der Geist out of the race, Kieran out of the race as well. A lot going on in that one, bringing you up to date quite literally in terms of the potential restart that we will have. Felix saying it was desync, your own saying it was restart as well, but it seems like there was desync as a result, which means I think we are going to get a restart, and I'll be very happy to try and get that restarted lobby up in just a second. Yona saying as well in the chat, the JR man, League Racing restarts, name a better duel. I'll wait. There is no better duel than that, to be honest. Max van der Geist there, leaving the session. Mitri saying the driving starting awful. Yeah, that was a pretty awful first lap, I've got to be honest, yep. Even from our perspective. But we are going to get a confirmation. We are going to get a restart. So that means once people see me leaving the lobby on the stream, there we are, they should realise it is going to be a restart for the race. But, yeah, absolutely chaos. Absolute chaos. I mean, cold set of hard compound tyres, Mike, is one thing. Desync included in that is another thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is one of those ones where there's just those two combinations just do not go together. And I think everyone would have been literally terrified for their lives, because Hungary is bad enough trying to overtake and go side by side. With desync and cold tyres as well, even worse.
Yeah, even worse indeed. Looking through the standings as well, we'll leave that up on your screen. I'm just going to now flick through and get the lobby reset. It should be quite easy from my end. Hopefully should be quite easy from my end. And that means, of course, we can get the lobby set up as soon as possible, and I will endeavour to try and get this up within around 5 minutes or so. So if you're now tuning into the stream, drivers, please let me know of an invite. I will give you an invite very soon indeed. I've just got to go through all the settings and everything and make sure they're all correct. But we saw there, absolute carnage off the start. I mean, on a set of cold, hard compound tyres, it's one thing around Hungary. The hards don't really last that long. They do really last long into the race. However, at the start of a race where you've got, what, 70, 75 degrees, basically in terms of tyres, you are absolutely cooked. And it's a bit like the blue wall compound tyre that you and I know best of around Silverstone back in the day.
Oh, are we talking those super hards?
The super hards, yeah.
Oh, let's not bring them back. No.
Oh,
bad
God.
Bad memories.
Honestly, if we brought the super hards back, then it will be absolute chaos. I've got to be honest in that. However, though, I've been listening on the grapevine in terms of F1 23. There's a lot of people been playing the beta. I know some of the VIR guys have been playing the beta. I think Marlon has, and he's been telling me as well that the traction apparently is better. So if the traction is better, that means the tyre wear and the ERS management shouldn't be as effective as what we're seeing on this game. But then again, it's rumours. You will all hear about that tomorrow, of course, when F1 23 gets released. And around this time, actually, the trailer will go live, I think, on the channel. So that will be very good. I'm just going to get everyone into the lobby once again. I'm just flicking through, making sure that we've got the settings right. And I think that is all okay. So I will get the drivers in now. And I will need to put myself on spectate mode first and foremost, because I don't want to be driving in this race, that's for sure. But hopefully, it has saved everyone in that lobby, and that means we can just get them in one go. If not, I'm going to have to do this manually, and we will go through an intermission break. But I think everything is fine. I said that everything was fine. I could only invite 8 people, so most of it's going to be manual. Oh god, absolutely terrible. Right, those 8, the lucky 8, Agent Tazine, Stretch, and those who were the lucky 8 to be on my play together is there. We are going to mute ourselves on our mic for one end. We're going to get the music back up while we just sort out everything, but we'll be back in a couple of minutes while we get everything sorted with the lobby. after that slight delay, welcome back to the NLR Esports League. We are here this afternoon for the racing here tonight, and we are going to be starting very, very soon indeed. Liam has just put in literally, I think, when we are starting right now, and I can actually give you what is happening in the lobby right now. It took a lot longer because I had to go through and get 13 names manually off my PS list because people didn't add me on my friends list, which is a real shame, but we are now getting going. Of course, there was lag, there was a bit of desync involved in that as well. We had to restart. We even saw it from our end, like, that there was desync in that lobby. Nothing could have been done otherwise. Restart is the fairest thing, so everyone, I think, instead of criticising, should just remember that we are here, we are all human beings at the end of the day, and we are here for the same reason as everyone else is, to give and deliver a very good stream, as well as a very good, hopefully a very good lobby as well. But if we do have more decent issues at the start of lap 1, then I'm assuming there will be a different lobby host found, and then we can continue on once again. But yeah, my apologies about that. Hopefully everyone can stop criticising. We are getting going once again. So, instead of criticising, support your team and get behind them.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more. Everyone in chat, get behind your teams.
Indeed, we are now getting going. And to reminder, actually, before we do get going, we'll just flick off the what's happening in the lobby. FER leading the way on 189, NLR in second on 166, JR in third on 102, VRT in fourth on 67, QRT fifth on 61, ERT sixth on 55, Mentalism in 7th on 43, GSP in 8th on 29, IRT in 9th on 18, and PGS in 10th on 15 points. The third restart for Hungary is about to get going, as Felix has just mentioned there in the chat. We are going to get going now, out on track. It is literally going to be straight lights out and away we go. Hopefully everyone has got a real good resemblance of how the tyres are going to be at the start. 5 red lights are now about to go out here. Hopefully no lag. Hopefully everything is going to be okay. 5 red lights are on. And for the second time this afternoon, we are underway once again, and Erpek gets a good start, but not as good as Kintix. Kintix has already got a better start compared to Erpek, and now he has to pull alongside with Kieran and also with Marlon Chris, and nobody's gone spearing off in towards turn 1 just yet, which is good. Kintix though leads the way, from Erpek there in second, Marlon there in third, Kieran there in fourth. Kieran's just lagging there a little bit slightly, but he is side by side with Marlon coming down the hill. Looks like everyone is clean through safely this time around though. Bit of contact there though with Kieran. Erpek thrown completely off wide, and Kieran goes all the way around the outside. There's 3 wide through turn 1, and it's happened immediately again. There's absolute carnage coming through. Safety car deployed out on track. That was not desync. That was not lag, certainly. That was just purely and utterly 3-1 to turn 1. Does not happen. Plenty of drivers with front wing damage, and it's happened again, Mike.
Yeah, happened again, and both of the JR team out of the race on lap 1. Heartbreak for them.
Heartbreak for them indeed. Safety car is out on track. Marlon saying ban Kieran. It was actually, yeah, Kieran was a little bit laggy, I think, and that lag, I think, cost him into the back of Erpek. Erpek got sent out wide, then there was 3 wide, and all of a sudden the JR guys were, or the ERT guys, one of the JR team, in terms of Marlon and Chris, they were side by side, 3 wide. That wasn't desync though, that was definitely not lag either. That was more individual error, I've got to say, is apart from that. But Kintix leads the way, Erpek there in second, Snipes there in third. I really don't have, I hope we have to restart again. From our angle, certainly, it didn't seem like there was any desync, it didn't seem like there was any lag. There was a lot going on. Everyone at least made it through turn 1 okay, but then it all happened immediately in towards turn number 3. The safety car was once again out on track. Kart Racer, Grozny, Timo, Max Powell, Max van der Geis, all in the pit lane at the end there of lap number 1. Drivers are saying as well, potentially it is desync. If they want to use their excuse a little bit too often, then that is the case. Bluey there saying it's disgraceful driving. It is. I mean, it's Hungary. Monaco without the barriers, giving it its full name, I think, on that one there, Mike.
Yeah, you just can't go 3 wide through turn 3. You just can't do it. Someone's always going to end up either spinning or just getting completely run off track into the grass. Now, you just cannot go 3 wide there.
Yeah, and as I say, it's more individual error. If people do watch that back and are on the AI, especially the VRT boys, the VRT boys as well, saying it has to be a restart. Have a look back on the stream. Watch it back on the stream. I will tell you now that was more individual error. And that was from Kieran knocking into the back of Erpek. Erpek then getting caught on the outside curb through turn number 2. the JR, who I think was Marlon, if I'm not mistaken, got sandwiched basically in the middle. And who on earth was thinking going 3-1 into turn number 1 was not going to happen? All of that caused a concertina effect, and because everyone's piling in to the corner, in behind each other, there is literally no response time. You cannot react to something like that unless you've got cat-like reactions, as the esports challengers guys do. Then it's pretty much impossible to try and react literally millisecond-like to try and avoid the carnage. And unfortunately, given the game that we've got as well, that only adds a little bit of problem to the mix. But Kintick's there leading the way, Urpek there in second, Snipes there in third. Tranky saying in the chat, let Keki race. I totally agree. I prefer to see Keki racing, to be honest. He would certainly put on a show, I think. But at the end of that too, hasn't been potentially thought of as a restart. We are saying in the commentary box at least it's not going to be a restart. But then again, if drivers do want to, if people do want to complain, in the end, then they can think of their own opinions. And like Kaveski there in the chat as well, you can see Kieran tripping all over the place. Yeah, he left the lobby actually just before we got back into the racing. He just left the lobby, and then we had to reset him back in the grid order. And I think it's more to do with his individual connection more than anything else. But regardless, we continue as we are for now, until I'm told otherwise, certainly. Kintick's the lad on top, Urpek there in second, Snipes there in third, lap 3 out of 35, and hopefully people will be able to see, from our perspective at least, what actually happened in towards turn number 3. I mean, regardless of it, it absolutely was complete and utter carnage.
Yeah, 100% was, and I'm coming on board with kart race, obviously to have a look and see if Kieran is bouncing around all over the place. It seems stable at the moment with Kieran. It might have been just like a small desync spike for that particular moment, but you never know. You never know. Like it definitely looks like it's stable for now with him.
Yeah, and given how Mike is on Welsh internet as well, and he's normally lagging all over the place, it's normally fine, I think, for me to, if he's saying that in the commentary box alongside me, it's normally all fine. However, safety car is now coming in, so we will get to see from this point onwards if there is still desync in the lobby, and if there is, we will take that decision immediately if there is more desync within the lobby, and we can hopefully suggest that everyone that has a problem connection has either fixed itself underneath the safety car, otherwise there are going to be potentially another restart happening here. But Kintex has already gone, coming to the right-hander now with turn 14, on the run toward the line comes the AlphaTauri man, and look at the start he's got. He's actually pulled 7/10s clear, Verpek there in second, Snipes there in third, Stretch there in fourth, Fraser there in fifth. They all come across the line. Joachim, only the engineer, on the run towards turn number 1 down the inside line of Fraser. At the minute, all seems clean. Toby diving it in there on the inside line of Geordie, just in the background of shot. Everything looking quite clean though now, and now Joachim tries to go all the way around the outside of turn number 2. The FDR man trying to hang it all the way around the outside of the PGS man, and that is how you overtake into turn 2 and 3. Kieran absolutely washed with that. Joachim through and he's into fifth. Brilliant stuff. And also side by side, Aiden Tajin side by side with Yordi. Bit of contact there. Yordi's got front wing damage, right to end plate. Not sure if there was a little bit of desync there, perhaps from Yordi's end, but he's got right to end plate damage. Max Power is down at the back of the field as well, spinning through turn number 4. But a great overtake by Joachim. He's into fifth.
Kitsumi down the inside of Lord Geordie into the chicane. You got kart racer around the outside. Kieran around the outside, and he's around.
And he is around. Kieran is around indeed. He's down in 17th position. That'll be very, very happy, I think, for the VRT perspective. Grozny, I think, is round in that little bit of contact as well. Timo side by side. Geordie is causing absolute carnage, I've got to be honest, with his front wing damage there. But Kintick's leading the way. Urpek second, Snipes there in third. You can back up me on that point. That was not desync coming through the right hand of turn number 2 and 3 with that move from Joachim, because that was absolutely well versed. Brilliant move. And now he looks for another one on the back of the other PGS man of Stretch in towards turn number 1. Rodas is quite close as well. The QLT man trying to go all the way around the outside of turn number 1. There's a mistake there, I think, from Snipes in the foreground of shot as well. Stretch is now side by side on the run down the hill in towards turn number 2. In towards turn number 3. Looks towards the inside line. Doesn't. Rodas is through on DeMonjo's actually coming out of nowhere to try and go all the way around the outside, but he doesn't at the end. Kintick still leads. Urpek in second. Snipes there in third. The front two absolutely pulling away, and at the minute it's the best for the rest in third.
Yeah, all this fighting that's going on in behind is giving him a mark, and FER keen Tinty, is it? If everyone remembers me, I'm terrible when it comes to names, so I do apologise. But it looks like all this battling behind is just giving these two a nice bit of clear air in front.
It makes you wonder as well, has Snipes got potentially damage? Is Jokum's going to go around the outside? I thought he was going to go around the outside of turn 11. That would be absolutely insane from him. Could still look to the inside line of turn number 12. In the end, not getting the move done. There is a little bit of decent there coming from Jokum's end. I think just on movement on the curb in towards the corner. Toby and Agent Eugene are dropping positions as well. And actually, Kart Racer's through on both of them. So Kart Racer through on Toby. Agent Eugene caught up in a bit of a collision, I think, there potentially with the GSP man. He's there in 10th. At the minute there, Tajin there in 11th. Only Katsune's not too far farther. Here's Yokum again on the back of stretch. On to lap 6 out of 35. Literally no breathing room here in the commentary box. No breathing room out on track, certainly. Kinsix leads the way. Urpek in second. 4.4 seconds is the gap to Snipes there in third. Stretch in fourth, and Yokum to the inside line. Tries to get the job done, but in the end doesn't quite manage it. Max van der Geist, however, trying to go all over the outside of Oni Katsuni. Oni Katsuni lagging a little bit. Max van der Geist lagging a little bit. There's a bit of desync there. That is definite desync. Oni Katsuni's out of the race. And Max van der Geist, unfortunately, there in 12th. That might be a safety car. It looks more off track to me, though. But that was desync between Oni Katsuni and Max van der Geist.
Yeah, I'm on board with the battle for P3. Snipes making a small mistake and Stretch all over the back of him. Literally pushing him through the corner. Yokam's pushing Stretch through the corner. Is literally like a train going on right now.
It's literally a who's who. It's all they literally want to get to the pole before closing hour. I think that's what we're having to try and see here as Car Racer is going to try and manage the move on Demonchel. See there undertaken by the pass there from the McLaren. So he's through, he's into 8th. Demonchel there down into 9th position. Yokum once again all over the back of Stretch. He's looking to try and stretch his legs in towards turn number 1. At the minute though, Kinsix leads. Urpek there in 2nd. Snipes there in 3rd. And here comes Yokum on the back of Stretch. The inside line of turn number 1. And actually Stretch moves across on him into turn number 1. And he absolutely blitzed himself in terms of the braking zone. Car Racer's doing rod eyes in the back there. Very nice move from there. And Yokum tries to spin the wheels coming out of turn number 2. But in the end, can't get the job done down in Hale towards turn number 3 and Snipes to the rolling roadblock as Yokum and Stretch side by side. There's a bit of contact between them both. They're still side by side, and that's going to end in tears again. Stretch in the wall. What on earth is happening in this race? I do not know. Another safety car out on track. Car Racer 5th, Fraser there in 6th. And at the end of the day, you can give each other room. No room to be given there. I don't know if that was driver error, if that was just pure and utter lobby carnage again.
I have no idea. It looked like they were both initially trying to give each other the room, but it looks like they potentially just made slight contact with the side pod and it just unsettled well around and then they just go back and forth for each other.
Yeah, definitely so. Wizzy saying to us there in the chat, he's trying to get POV of everyone. Yeah, I think, to be honest, just watch it live. Just watch it live and watch what's unfolding on the stream. And if people want to blame my connection, by the way, I've run lobbies in the past and it's been absolutely fine. It's normally fine. Hungary, I believe, does have problems when it comes to lobby setup, so it might be more the track than anything else. Snipes is into the pit lane. I think he has got left side end plate damage, if I'm not mistaken. So we did mention that I thought he had damage. He is in for damage. Kart Racer is into the pit lane as well. There's quite a few actually in. Demonchel, Tajin, Max van der Geist, Toby, Max Power, all into the pit lane. Kinsix still leading, Urpek there in 2nd, Yokum there in 3rd, and drivers, some of them at least, going into a set of softs, which is interesting.
Yeah, softs, very interesting at this point in the race. Kart Racer going back on the set of hards that he pitted off at the end of lap 1. Potentially, could be trying to go to the end of the race.
Yeah, definitely, and yeah, potentially so. I mean, Max van der Geist, he's on that older set of hard compound tyres. Yeah, he could get to the end. Kart Racer, I think, could get to the end of the race as well. Max Power's done the same on that sort of hards. Toby's on that sort of mediums. I probably think that's the better strategy to be on at this stage in the race. Toby there in 13th, doing a good job at this stage. Frankie there saying in the chat, saying driving standard is inspiring today. The driving standard, honestly, I was about to put a comment saying I could even drive better than these guys, but I think that would be showing off, personally, for mine and Mike's end, certainly. Kintic still leading the way, Opek there in second, Joachim there in third, lap 8 out of 35. Still haven't been informed, by the way, that we are going to have a restart. There are still drivers, of course, complaining, and fully respect them to be complaining, because, I mean, after the 2 restarts that we've had, or the 1 restart that we've had, and this lobby as well, there is still desync ingrained within this lobby. We can see it from our end. We can see it from our end, and I'm not hiding that fact whatsoever. But as soon as we get told there is a restart, there is a restart. We acted first because we realised there was desync. We realised there was a bit of lag as well. That's why we restarted. Try to get the fresh lobby up. And in the end, Mike, we do that. Oh, and there's an overtake into the pit lane, actually. Oh, that is cheeky. That is cheeky. From Agent to Jean. My word. Overtaking into the pit lane. Toby there, 13th. Demonja was the one overtaken. Agent to Jean has pulled off what I think I've never seen on this game cycle, and that's an overtake into the pit lane. That is one sneaky move.
That was incredibly sneaky from Agent to Jean there, and honestly, and the safety car, I don't think Demonja was expecting it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, Mike, will you be able to have a look at an instant lap 4 start of sector 2, as Wizzy is saying? Would you be able to look at that on stream?
Yep, I am just looking at that.
Lovely jubbly, but then we can focus, one of us at least, on the commentary for now while he does that. Kinsick still leading the way from Urpek there in second, Joachim there in third. Yeah, it is. We only get. It's a bit like a George Morgan sort of rage that I think I've got coming on potentially in terms of this. I mean, we're a day out from the new game being launched, or being revealed, I should say. It's not going to be launched tomorrow, so don't get ahead of yourselves. But in terms of this new game, hopefully the errors of the ways and the servers are going to be better. Safety car is going to be coming in this lap though, so that means Kintex is going to be virtual Bermanda. He is going to be virtual safety car out on track. Frankie saying as well, no Pecky, no clean racing. Yeah, I've got to probably stand by that, I think, to be honest, from what we've seen so far. But Kintix and Urpek there, now virtual Bermala, now virtual safety car. And for the second time tonight, we get back underway here in Hungary. And we can only hope that the driving standards will only go up from here. Famous last words, though.
Yeah, famous indeed. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
The stream does cut off on that instant at key moments of the lap, but I don't know what to make of it.
I don't know. If you could put your opinion in about it, then that would be fantastic. We are back underway, though. Timo's all over the back of Rodaz. In the meantime, down the straight in towards turn number 2. Looks for the inside line. Mercedes, though, very keen to the fact that he's not going to be risking to the inside line. But surely, I mean, drivers, surely if they realise that there's desync, Timo's going to go for a move around the outside of turn number 4. This will be brilliant if he can pull this off. But in the end, he can't. That was more driving than anything else. Rodaz is trying to hang him. But around the outside of turn number 5, don't often see a move here too often. To the outside now of the chicane. Now, what on earth was that? Timo into the gravel all by himself, really. Rejoins track in a very dangerous manner as well. The Aston Martin getting past there, the Williams as well. The other team man of Kieran, who's suddenly up to 7th as well. But Timo forced out on the outside curb. And I was literally about to say on the tip of my tongue before we went for the moving towards turn number 4, drivers, surely if they realise that there's desync, and surely if, we need to see a little bit there, and we have seen a bit there. The Ferrari is round again. That was max power into the side of Timo. Timo in the end, rejoining track in a dangerous manner. Drivers, I don't know what is wrong with them, honestly, here today. The driving standards are absolutely shocking, and surely 4 drivers being out the race, desync in the lobby is enough to tell you that you shouldn't be going for moves that is not going to be yours.
Yeah, at this stage now, obviously, if there's a bit of desync in the lobby and everything, I mean, as I'm looking at this brilliant battle between Rodaz and Marcel for P5 right now. Oh. Like, you gotta make sure. Oh my! It's gone wrong.
It's laughable at this point. It is honestly laughable at this point. Grozny in 15th spun. Rodas leaving him no room. I'm not sure if Rodas has got a little bit of damage, but he's certainly struggled on that sort of hard compound of tyres. I mean, of course he was on a set of mediums, so he'll be certainly up there. But in the end, yeah, Kintick's leading the way, Upek in second, Joachim there in third. The top three, arguably, I think have been the cleanest three drivers out on track because A, they haven't been involved in anything, which is one thing, and the other thing, they're pulling away from the guys in fourth, the guys there in fifth position. Honestly, I do not know what is wrong with people. I'm not sure if they've had their Weetabix or if they've had a cereal or if they're just on drugs or something. Honestly, the driving standards, compared to what we've seen the last couple of weeks, is absolutely diabolical. And I can only think that drivers have to try and improve on this. If you can't, and if you can't improve on things, what are you even doing racing in this event? And I'm being serious.
Well, from what I'm looking at the moment, it seems like whenever anyone gets close to someone else, it looks like they're a little bit scared of any potential lag of desync, that they just end up going for something that normally they wouldn't, and it just doesn't pay off.
Yeah. Bear with me for a second. Oh, there's a yellow flag, and that is Geordie Ram by himself. Oh, as he spins on track there. Needy collects Timo with him. Spins on track, coming to the right-hander there of turn number 3. Geordie there is round the IRT man there in 16th position. I'm just going to put in a message in the chat from what one of the QRT guys has said. In fact, actually, I'll say it on the stream. It's not because the commentary says it's a desync that it's actually a desync. It's 100% somebody lagging. Yeah, totally agree. I mean, desync normally is where the hitbox comes in. I've seen a couple of occasions of that, certainly within the first race. That's why we restarted. In terms of lag, VRT, I know, Max van der Geist and Max Power. I think Max van der Geist, more importantly, his connection's not normally that stable, so I think if there's any incident involved with him, and I mean, Rodas there slightly shaking coming out of turn 13 there, that little bit of a slight jump that you see is that little bit of a lag effect going on within the lobby. And it's unavoidable at this stage as Kevin looks the inside on now and Rodas in towards turn number 1 and absolutely sails by the RT man through, and he's into 5th. Nicely done by the PSGL F2 man, and that is a very, very nice move as Rodas now is beginning to drop down further down the field as well. Car racer there in 7th. But yeah, in the end, we can only do what the game has dealt our hand with, basically, and that is the unfortunate thing. That is the real unfortunate thing. We are only given the cards that we are dealt, and I mean that coming through turn number 5, and even with Urpek and Joachim, there was a slight bit of twitch there from all of them, in fact, and that's just signalling to me there could be still desync and lobby, desync and lag, certainly from individual connections, still in this lobby, which I'm sure, because we're now too far in, I think, to call a restart. I think it's going to be one of the occasions where it could get voided, perhaps, but that'll be up to the jurisdiction of the admins.
Yeah, completely out of our hands now. I think we're past the point of restart, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think we're just along for the ride, and you guys are with us on this ride as well. I think it's the best way we can describe this. Kintick's still leading the way. 2 fifths race distance, actually, lap 14 out of 35, as Kieran's going to saunter past Fraser down the straight in towards turn number 1, and also potential move from car racer to the outer line of turn number 1 on Rodas. Goes a little bit too deep, gets that car stopped very quickly indeed. There should be car racers move to the inside of turn number 2. Should have him in front. Rodas tries to move across on him. There's slight bit of lag between them both, but in the end, car racer, considering that Rodas was slightly lagging there, just slightly jumping about. Very nice move from car racer. Good respect between them both, and that's how racing should be.
Yeah, absolutely. And now in the end, Rodas, he's just picked up a 3-second time penalty there, just exceeding the limits through turn 4. He now has Max van der Geest in the end.
Yeah, Max van der Geest in behind indeed. He is on the back of Rodas at this stage. Looking at Mitwee's comment, looking aboard with Max van der Geest now, he looks absolutely fine. So it might have just been a slight intermittent. It could be on my end, and I'm not wanting to mention that on the stream. It could well be on my end connection. However, I've got a phone connected up to Wi-Fi, iPad, and this laptop, and the PS4, and everything seems to be running fine. So I'm not sure if it's my end. It hasn't. I've never seen desync or lobby issues before. If there was, I would have acted on it, of course, a couple of weeks ago, even last week, if there was. The car races on the back of Fraser once again to the inside line of turn number 1, and the McLaren saunters on by. Very nice move that by car racer to the inside line. Turn number 1, job done. He's into 5th.
And Kart Racer making moves now. He's trying to get himself up into a very prominent position because remember, he could go to the end from here. He doesn't need to pit again.
Yeah, yeah, certainly. Tom as well mentioned in the Discord, I think a pretty decent point, to be honest. And, I mean, he is throwing a bit of shade here with the NLR boys. And the NLR boys have got it between themselves, I think, in terms of this. But he is questioning myself how far I need to go before the organisation here decide to restart or cancel the race. I've literally just said that 2 laps ago, saying that it could happen once again where we do get a voided race. And I would be of the opinion that if it's voided again and the points don't count from this race that you're seeing right now, if that is the case and it does get voided, I don't think it should be rerun at all. Because if we've done it twice and had a lobby restart for 3rd time, there's really no point in running on a track that is just bugged.
Yep.
But that's my opinion. You can believe it as much as you want, but I don't mind. Back to Van der Geist though in the meantime, on the back of Rodaz in 7th and 8th position, doing a good job at this stage. Everything has seemed to have calmed down now, which I think I'm not sure if that's a good thing or if that's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. Everyone's just running in line of stone. We've still got the pit stops to come from quite a few guys as well. Kintix, Erpek, Joachim, Kieran, Fraser and Rodaz still yet to pit. Bosnia and Timo have already been in the pit lane, but they're on a set of mediums. They will not make it to the end of the race. They should be expecting another safety car to come out probably before the end of this race. Everyone else, though, Mike, Kart Racer, Max Van der Geist, Gene, Max Power, they're in a different race entirely, and they're doing a fantastic job. On that sort of hard compound of tyres, they are on fresher compound. They could get, as you said earlier on, to the end of the race.
Yeah, and as Rodaz is around and he's falling down the field, as I was just about to say, Kart Racer doing a fantastic job. If he can get himself ahead of Kieran and try and close in that 1.4 second gap to the back of Joachim, he's in that train for the race lead, and then he'd have a full pit stop advantage over the race leaders, effectively.
Yeah, if you can hear FaceTime, by the way, my girlfriend's trying me on the screen. If you can hear that in the background, I hope you can't. Kinzig's still leading the way. Erpek 11 second, and Joachim's the first to come in. So Joachim actually out of the leaders, is the first to come in. He's going to drop down the field. He's going to be down behind Timo and Rodaz, 14th and 15th position. But at this stage, Joachim has actually changed for the race lead, Mike. Erpek and Kinzig side by side coming down at turn number 1. Erpek now behind Kinzig once again, and Kinzig is now ahead of Erpek.
Yeah, battling now for the race lead is Kintex and Erpek, and this is good for Joachim, these two battling, because he'll be able to get a nice little undercut by the more these battle.
Yeah, and certainly with Joachim, he's coming out in 15th positions. He's on that set of medium compounded tyres. To the end of the race, one would expect about 18, 19 laps he can make on those tyres. But it is, yeah, from Joachim's perspective, hopefully a good thing. There is more battles going on. Snipes is right on the back of Demongel, and Steve actually all of a sudden has to take the escape road. This should be Snipes' move, maybe run the outside of turn number 8. A little bit of movement into the braking zone there on re-entry from Demongel. The IRT man there in 9th, Snipes there in 10th position there on the back of this race. Chloe saying as well, what did Rodaz do, Chloe? Need to have POV. Lap 10, she says, and yeah, lap 10, definitely one to watch. He's dropped down the field and has had a spin recently, so that's why he's farther down the field as per necessary. Kintex though into the pit lane from the race lead.
Yeah, and now we'll see just how much time he lost battling Erpek in turn 1 to Joachim.
Yeah, and we will see this play out in hand. Joachim's coming through the final corner. Kintex on the run towards the line, or on the run towards the end of the pit lane. They could be side by side, I think, coming out the pit lane here. It's going to be very close. One of them's going to have to go ahead of the other, and I have a feeling it's going to be Joachim, who actually locks up in towards turn 1. But Joachim, normally the engineer, he is through, and he's into 14th and ahead of Kinzig, which is important, and that is important from an FER perspective, of course, Mike, because at this moment in time, as it stands, NLR are currently outscoring FER on track.
Yeah, as it currently stands, they outscoring them, and this is going to be very interesting because Kart Racer, as we mentioned, potentially can go to the end by Erpek. If he pits this lap and he can be straight on the back of these two, the FER lads, it's going to be very intriguing to see if Erpek can split FER and Kart Racer can maintain a gap at the front.
Yeah. Harley, by the way, is Erpek's into the pit lane. Harley in the in our commentary box chat has literally just put this, and this is breaking news, however you want to dissect it. Keep going until the end. We will analyse after the race. Too late to restart and cancel at mid-race, and it will affect too many people, basically. Sorry for this for Hungary. It's just obviously our unlucky track. Some looks like desync, some looks like lag. He needs to look at it properly, as well as the admin team. So that's officially from the admin team on stream. So you can digest that news however you want to. We are, of course, too late now to call a restart, too late to cancel the race as well. And it is a shame, as Urpex actually came in out behind the FER boys, which is a little bit shocking. I thought he would have been ahead of Kinsix, but he's behind behind Kinsix, coming out the pit lane as Urpex there in 15th. And now, Mike, he is on the back foot because he's got a half a lap basically to warm up the tyres. In half a lap's time, he's going to be nearly 2 seconds behind.
Yeah, but also if you look at the ERS, and it looks like Kintex and Joachim have absolutely drained their batteries in comparison to Urpex, so he does have an opportunity to close back in.
Yeah, definitely so. Kieran, though, leads the way. How was Kieran, by the way, P1? After what has happened in this race, I do not know how he is P1 in this race at this moment in time. Of course, he's coming in the pit lane now. Yeah, he is coming in the pit lane now, so that means he is in the pit lane. He'll relinquish that race lead. Kart Racer there is now into the lead of the race, and now he is the first one, really, that's going out on track on that set of hard. Set of medium compound tyres for Joachim and Kintix especially, though, are going to get them back into contention. They're not going to be too far off. I think the likes of Kart Racer and Max van der Geist towards the end of the race, they are going to be carving their way through the field. And speaking of carving, here comes Joachim on the back of Rodas to the inside line. In towards turn number 1 comes the FBR man. Should be an easy move from the AlphaTauri, and it is indeed. Rodas will try and fight back on the exit, but in the end, Joachim is through, and he's into 10. Nice move that, has got now a car between himself and Kinzix, which is good. Ideally, though, FER want a car between themselves and Urpex.
Yeah, now he's on Kintex get through on Rodas and just have a little bit of a buffer. It is about 14 seconds between Kart Racer and Joachim. That is what I've just deduced just then.
Yeah, Xenon saying in the chat as well that the driving standards are at their lowest, which I totally agree with and I totally respect, to be honest, given how we've had and controlled the first half.
Joachim's around! Joachim's around!
Coming out turn 9?
Yeah, coming out of turn 9, 2, on the front, or behind the team when he just drops it.
Oh, and that was so lucky because he actually could have been contacted there with Geordie and there could have been absolutely all sorts of carnage there. But Joachim now is round. He's not going to go round again, surely, through turn number 12. But in the end, those tyres, Malone there in the chat saying, we are cooking. Joachim's tyres are cooked. They're quite literally cooked. Now out on track. I know people were hungry coming into tonight, but I didn't know they'd even taken that laterally.
Back down the inside of as Rockers gets overtaken by both of those guys. They're side by side in towards turn 2. Back along the outside. Can he make this stick? Oh, this is close stuff.
Oh, a little bit of contact there between Urpex and Kintix. To be fair, though, absolutely fair coming through that part of the track. It is an off-camber corner. It's difficult to go 2 wide, let alone 3 wide from earlier on lap 1 of the race. But look at Urpex trying to get the move now done on Timo into the chicane. Surely not on the brakes through the chicane. This will be impossible if he can pull this move off. And now look at it, Kintix to the inside line through the middle sector is now to the outside line at turn number 9. But in the end, Urpex is staying ahead of Kintix for now. Rodas there right in behind as well. Absolute all sorts of carnage here in this race. I really don't know what's going on. For the life of me, certainly would like to know what's going on in this race. We don't know what's going on, and still there is battles going on and up and down out on track. Kieran all of a sudden, look at Kieran. He was miles behind. He's on the back of Rodas to the inside line of turn 14. Rodas realises he's coming. ERT Kieran all of a sudden on this fresh set of mediums is into 11th position. He's on the back of the lead group. Urpex and Timo are now side by side down the straight towards turn number 1. The NLR man tries to go all the way around the outside. The ERT man shooting pressure on the tyres, and he does. Urpex around the outside gets the job done as Kintix now going to come back at him. No, Timo's coming back at Urpex down in towards turn number 2. Not going to pull that one off though. Urpex through and he's into 8. Timo there in 9th, and Kintix has to wait him behind, and there's contact actually between them both. Timo nearly goes for a spin, and all of a sudden, Kieran, is through on both of them to the inside line of turn number 4, and Kintix That will not be very, very tasteful from the FBR perspective, that is for sure.
Nah, Timo doing an absolute job for his teammate right there. 20 laps on those mediums, trying to hold him off so that Kieran can get back in. Gives Kieran the perfect opportunity to get past the FBR man, and now he's all over the back of Verpek.
Yeah, definitely so. Reminder as well, actually at this point, JR, of course, realising that they're behind NLR and both FER in the standings, it is benefiting NLR. I will totally agree with that, but it is benefiting in what I think is a very clean way. VRT, by the way, who were last pretty much in this race, are now second and third. So let's just take that and take it out of context for a little bit, because Max van der Geist has got the job done. Oh, sorry, Max Power, I should say, has got the job done on Max van der Geist. These guys were right on the back of the field, Mike. Because of that early safety car, these guys now, second and third, running contention perhaps for second and third, here out on track. And VRT, I don't see anybody from their team now in the comment section complaining, because second and third, they'll take that, given what's happened in this race.
No, 100% take that. Obviously, Agent Tajin and Demandrel and Snipes are still there in contention for that second and third spot. But it'll be interesting to see how Max Power, if he has the pace to pull away, because Van der Geest has actually gone.
Yeah, definitely so. One of the VRT team coming in and saying if JR was 1-2, he wouldn't be crying. I totally echo that, to be honest, and I think it would be the same for any other team here in this event as well. And given what has happened, of course, there is going to be a full debrief after this race. We're going to be involved in the debrief. I no doubt have a feeling about that. But in my own opinion, I think with the desync and the lag that happened in the early stages of the race, it's been fine for the second half, but I think there's just too much in this race not to ignore. And it can't be ignored, quite frankly. And if it does want to be ignored, then you're just really not benefiting everyone. I don't think with that. As Kieran now on the back of Verpek looks the outside line in towards turn number 1. This could be for the night race lead a little bit later on in the race. And Kieran switches it back. Oh, he sold the dummy to Verpek coming out of turn number 1. Snipes and Demondrel side by side. But in the end, Kieran through. That is my PSGL left 2-man up ahead of Verpek. Who needs Verpek when you've got Kieran? He's through and he's into a very nice move.
Kieran through and ahead of Verpek now. There's a lot of hard runners now in between Kieran and potentially trying to chase down for a race when he is starting to run out of laps. So
he is indeed. Frankie there as well in the chat saying the Sky and Hard is making the race interesting. It is, and Kieran there. Now, everyone has pretty much cleared the hard runners. Geordie is the only one, I think, for drivers to clear. That's, of course, need Timo and Rodas to try and clear a little bit further down the field. Kieran, though, remember, he was down at the back of the field. He'd spun a little bit earlier on. He's now down, he's in 8th position. But actually, in this race, he's technically in the net lead if drivers are still going to be putting in towards the end of the race. And that's what we're not going to have to try and gloss over in terms of this race. Drivers could pit ahead. If their tyres feel like they're going and they can't make it to the end of the race, we will see 1 or 2 drivers at least coming into the pit lane. This will bring the medium runners completely into play. So I'm not going to go on hell's limb here by saying Kieran could end up in the front 3 positions before the end of this race tonight. And look at how far he is behind Mike. He's only about 4 seconds behind Max Power.
Around about 4 seconds. But I mean, here's the thing now. Now he's on the back of Toby and obviously this train for P3. It's going to be very difficult to try and carve your way through as quickly as possible. So that should make the end of the race very interesting to see if he can catch up to the likes of Max van der Geest and Kart Racer. As Verpek has thrown it away with the 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, 3-second time penalties you mentioned there for Verpek. 3 seconds actually for quite a few. Toby, Verpek, Geordie, Gosney, Timo and Rodas have all got 3 seconds worth of penalties so far in this race. Probably a few more to come, one would expect. Kieran on the back of Toby coming to the right hand of turn number 11. Oh, and he's going to sell him an absolute dummy here to the inside line of turn number 12. Beautiful exit coming out of turn 11, and Kieran's got that one done. Absolutely sold. Beautiful move. And now he's got a car ahead of himself and Verpek, which is going to be very, very interesting indeed. Verpek there in 9th position, doing a fantastic job. At this moment in time, FBR are not going to be outscoring NLR at this stage. Both NLR drivers are ahead, and actually Verpek's going to be ahead of Toby here to the inside of turn number 1. Surely going to be getting the move done here. And this will be, one would expect, there he is, to the inside of turn 1. So late on the brakes he is Verpek, gets the job done. Jochem's picked up a penalty as well. That's 3 seconds for him. So that is him, and FBR's chances now NLR, as we mentioned, have had the form coming into the last 2 rounds of the championship. Before then, it was a bit of an FBR domination. Now FBR have gone off the boil, Mike. NLR are snapping at their heels, and do you know what? I might be even in a position to say that NLR are actually overtaking FBR currently in the standings. As it stands.
As it stands, yeah. As it stands, I was going to say, well, it's a little bit too early to say that just yet, but yeah, as it currently stands, NLR definitely, I believe, would overtake in the standings, but I mean, it's just going to bring a very interesting dynamic into the final few rounds of the championship, as Erpek, I mean, he needs to build a 3-second gap, because Sendex is, at the moment, going to jump in with that 3 seconds.
Yeah, definitely so. Kart Racer leading the way. Max Van der Geist there in second. Max Power there in third. VRT have had to work very hard in this race to get to the position they're in. To be honest, they're absolutely deserving of that position, given what happened to them on lap 1 of the race, where they got absolutely screwed over by all of that carnage coming out of turn 2 and 3. To be second and third, I think they would take that at the end of this race. They've done a phenomenal job to get to the point where they're at. Hopefully they can carry on. It looks as if Max Power's just beginning to try and press Aiden Tajin there and get him without a slipstream range, which will be important, certainly, from Max Power's range to try and get him outside that slipstream, and he just has. 9/10 per second now, outside the slipstream range. Snipes is on the back of Tajin as well, and Tajin there, all of a sudden becoming under pressure, and Team Mentalism with Tajin certainly have not had it easy in this race, and now, Mike, when it comes to the final, 8-9 laps of this race, Tajin's tyres are slowly but surely starting to go off, and Snipes is going to be snapping at his heels.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, that with these tyres, as Kieran is just going to absolutely fly past the Angel there for P6. As you mentioned, with the tyres now starting to drop off, obviously, the longer these laps go on, the mediums are going to start to fall away as well, so it'll be very interesting as that Snipes around.
And there's Snipes around coming through turn 13. I'm not sure if he got caught on the inside curb. I'm imagining he did, given where he was on the at the position coming in through the corner. Urpek's now getting past the Montel as well down the straight. And all of a sudden, Kintix is getting into this all of a sudden. And he's going to go for the move on Toby down in towards turn number 1. Should get the job done. And Kintix is through and he's into 8th. Nice move that by the FDR man. And now only 2 positions stand between themselves and Urpek there in 6th position. Demonjal in 7th, Kintix there and 8th, doing a good job as it stands. Toby there in 9th. But as it stands, remember, coming into tonight, I will get the driver standings up, the team standings out in terms of the points. 23 points it was, the gap between FBR and NLR. At this moment in time, NLR, because they're picking up 25 points, Urpek picking up 8 points, I believe, as well. That's 33 points. FBR with Kintix are picking up 4. As it stands, they'll be ahead by 6 points. That is not if the results don't get boarded, though, which I'm expecting they might.
Yeah, potentially. Obviously, asterisk with that 3-second time penalty for Urpek. I think he'd finish in 8th currently as it stands, but definitely, I mean, NLR outscoring FVR here tonight, and that, either way, they're going to jump FVR if it stands.
Yeah, and Kintix really needs to get a move on. I think if he latches onto the back of Demonjal Urpek, he's got a chance of actually getting some points, maybe outscoring NLR. It's on the back foot, I think, from FBR throughout, as that Kieran really close the back of Tajin there and towards turn number 1. Urpek there in behind as well. Doing a good job still. It's 5 o'clock, by the way. I hope you're still with us here in the commentary box and in the comment section. I hope you've enjoyed whatever this race has been. Whether it's going to be a rerun again, whether it's going to be boarded is a different thing though. But regardless, second half of the race has been better than the first. We've had a lot of good action, a lot of good overtaking, and could we see maybe another overtake here with Kieran on the back of the Gene running into the chicane at 6 and 7?
He's not going to risk it. Yeah, honestly, turn 12 seems, now we will. Looks to the inside, unable to get it done though, but turn 12 seems to be Kieran's hunting ground. His overtaking opportunity as he gets such a better run from turn 11, as we'll see right here. And
his Urpek! Urpek to the exit line! Trying to go around the outside of turn number 12. Literally no room given. To be fair, though, absolutely no room given. They both make it side by side through the corner safely. Urpek can't get through on Kieran. Fair play there, actually, from them both. Gave each other plenty of room. That is the sort of driving we should have been seeing on lap 1 out of 35. But in the end, Kieran on the back of Tajin. This race coming alive now towards the end. And Tajin there in 4th. Kieran there in 5th, and everyone now settling once again down onto lap 30 out of 35. Kart Racer leads, Mac van der Geist in 2nd, Max Power there in 3rd. There was a comment as well from Frankie saying, I think Kart and P2 are quite safe. To be honest, yeah, but if Kieran's there in 5th, 6 seconds he's basically got to get on the back of Max van der Geist. So long as he clears Tajin and Max Power, that gap could be closed down pretty quickly once he's in clear air.
Yeah, and he does have relatively fresher mediums compared to Urpek and Sentex down in 8th. For Sentex on the back of the main job, didn't want to risk it down the inside of the chicane.
No, and if he was going to think about a move down the inside there, the chicane, I probably would have moved to Hungary and tried to make a move there myself. But in the end, not going to happen. Kinsex on the back of Demongel. Geordie's picked up another penalty further down the field. I think it's the first 6-second penalty that we have seen now for a driver out on track. Kieran on the back there of Tajin, 4th and 5th position, doing a good job. Kieran still on the back of the Frenchman. We're going to try and outmaneuver the Haas there in front. Williams in behind. That 31 out of 35 beginning. Kart Racer, Max van der Geist, Max Power coming to the top 3. Kieran still having to work quite hard to get this move done on Tajin. Tajin, I think, has got more ERS than him, though. He's going to try and burn that up now down the straight. Kieran's now coming at him, though. And here he comes to the inside line of turn number 1. Oh, he's very late on the brakes, but he gets the car stopped. Tajin, though, sends him the switch back, sells him the switch back to the Sentry. Great move by Tajin. Kieran's still going to be trying to go side by side with him. If he risks the move around the outside of turn number 3, that wasn't really going to work. But in the end, Kieran down to 5th. Tajin there in 4th. Great switch back by Tajin to repass him.
Yeah, fantastic switchback from Tajin to get back through on Kieran. And what that's done, obviously, is used double of Kieran's ERS. Urpek's going to be looking at that flashing red light, thinking it's go time.
Yeah, it is goal time indeed. It's certainly goal time from Kieran in behind as well on Tajin, trying to outmaneuver him. He's got 3% less ERS compared to the Frenchman ahead. The Frenchman, to be honest, is doing an absolutely terrific job in this race. Kieran, though, you said turn number 12 is his hunting ground. Well, here he comes. Becoming the hunted is Tajin to the outside line of turn number 12, trying to switch it back now around the outside of turn 13. He'll have the traction on the exit here of turn 13. Whether he can get the move done, though, remains to be seen. Tajin, though, just edging the car slightly right, just forced him out of room. Nice driving there by Tajin to defend. But look at all of this. Urpek, Demongel, Kintex, all on the back. Kintex is on the back of Demongel, looking to try and get the move done in towards turn number 1. Kieran on the back of Tajin. Nothing's going to happen apart from Urpek around the outside of turn number 1 on Kieran. That's way too late on the brakes. That's never going to work.
No, but he does have a little bit more ERS, and he's going to go look to the outside for turn 2. Trying to break the ERT man, but it looks like Kieran may just about have this done.
Oh. Yeah, Kieran hangs on. Very difficult to go off camber corner through turn number 2. Kintex is on the back of the Demongel there, but that split is now happening further down in this pack. Kintex on the back of the Demongel. Look at how quick Kintex is compared to the Demongel through turn number 4. Now through turn number 5. So quick. I thought he was going to get the move done actually on the exit of turn number 4 there. But Kieran on the back of the Tajin. Max Power is still not getting away as well out in 3rd position. He's still not getting away. He's got 68% of ERS, so he can use it up to his heart to score on 10. However, I think he's more tyre saving than anything else. Kieran, a bit of a slight tap there on the back of the Tajin. In towards turn number 12. Can't get the move done from that far back. Here's Kintex still on the outside line at turn number 12. Not going to get the job done and remain as we are. Or is he on the exit of turn 13? Not quite.
He's going to look to try and get the traction out of the final corner now to try and get this move done. But the Angel, I'm not going to lie, he has done such a fantastic job of making sure he stays within DRS of the pack ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty easy for him too, because Tajin and Kieran's been battling. Urpek's been trying to go for a rogue move as well on the back of Kieran. And Demondra's just sitting there, 24 lap old hards, and he's thinking, well, what's the fuss? I can just use up my ERS, stay within this DRS train. Kintex been behind. I'm loving life at this moment in time, and certainly from an IRT perspective, yes, one of their drivers further down the field in Yordi but Demangel has done a fantastic job. Steve, he is I think he was a reserve actually coming into tonight, replacing Steiny, I think it was, who was due to race full time. Kieran to the inside line of turn number 5. Tajin runs wide, and now Kieran has to force his move to the inside line, whether he likes it or not, through turn number 6. Tajin having to cut across on the curb. Kieran, though, round the outside of turn number 7. Oh, brilliant move by Kieran. Round the outside of turn 7. Great job. Tajin there still coming back at him, though. Phenomenal move by Kieran. Tajin there in 5th. No inch given in that move. Kieran Thuney's into 4th, even though I think it was a little bit off track as Demongel's fighting off Kintix.
Demangel fighting off Kintix, who got Urpek on the back of Tajin. He got Kieran now trying to get on the back of Max Power. It's all kicking off for the final 2 laps of this race.
Yeah, Tajin is cooking, definitely, and actually, apparently he's cooking with a broken floor as well. Broken suspension for Tajin, and he's there in 5th, doing a fantastic job, but now he's got Urpek to deal with, to the inside line, in towards turn number 1. Oh, he's hard on the brakes, and he forces him wide. Tajin's got no choice but to run him off wide, and to be fair, Urpek stays in behind. He's going to have another attack at him in towards turn number 2. Now around the outside of turn number 2. If he solves this, this will be one of the best moves I've seen all night, and he is. Urpek through, and he's into 5th. Tajin was the car behind going into the corner. That was Urpek's move. He's through, and he's into 5th. Beautiful driving.
Yeah, and now Urpek, obviously with that 3-second time penalty, that could come back to haunt him as we are running out of laps here, and the gap between Urpek and Syntax in 8th is around about a second.
It is around about a second indeed. Urpek as well could actually stay within that DRS train, maybe pull ahead of Kintix and Demangel if he's very, very lucky, but Carl Racer leading the way. Max van der Geist in 2nd. It's the battle for the podium now to be decided. Kieran on the back of Max Farrell. Given what Kieran did earlier on, coming through turn number 3, 3 wide through turn number 1, didn't really work. Of course, that was a restarted race, and then, of course, he left him short of room again through turn number 2 and 3, but this time he's going for the podium, and this might be, in some teams' books, maybe one of the undeserved podiums of the night, as Kieran looks the outside line into turn 1, he's hit him, and he's hit him, and he waits up from, which is sportsmanlike, and if he didn't do that, then it would have been an absolute stupid. He's going to maybe disqualify himself out on track as well, but Kieran spins Max Power round. VRT are fuming. I am fuming. What on earth was he thinking there?
Absolutely, that was... I have no idea what that was from Kieran. That was lack of composure, really, in behind... Oh, I have no words. I've run out of words. I have no words left. I have 2 languages. I have no words.
Tajin's on for a podium as well. This is unbelievable. The team mentalism, man, actually under pressure though from Kintix. Kintix coming through turn 10, through turn 11, and Urpek's in the wall! Urpek's in the wall out of turn number 10! Unbelievable! Scenes like you will never see before. Car Racer leads, Max van der Geist in 2nd, and Kintix is going for the podium to the inside line of turn number 12. Tajin forced off track rather by himself. Kintix is still there. Car Racer to the line wins. Max van der Geist will be 2nd. They're still side by side. Agent Tajin, Minister of Defence, coming through the final corner through 14. Demangel could even get a podium out of this as well. But Tajin, what a defensive drive to finish in 3rd. Kintix in 4th. Demangel there in 5th. Fantastic end to that race. In the end, all marred by that controversy with Kieran and Max Power. Max Power in the end is 6th. Kieran there in 11th. Don't tell me that he didn't wait up for you. He dropped positions further down as well, maybe to avoid a penalty later on, which is fair enough. But Kart Racer takes the win. Max van der Geist in 2nd. Tajin there in 3rd. And Agent Tajin, Max Hens there in the chat saying he had a broken floor. He was the Minister of Defence, all right. He's through 3rd. And Team Mentalism, for the first time, I think, all season, have picked up their first podium.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic defensive effort from... Agent Tajin. They're holding off for so long against Kieran initially, and being able to pick up the pieces and get himself that podium. What a drive, and honestly, after their day already. And the game agrees.
The game agrees with you. The game agrees. Drive of the day of all about the in-game fans is Tajin. Of course, any more controversy with what will happen after the race will be, I'm sure, within the Discord. And hopefully, we will see some better driving next week as well as we go to, well, Singapore, which I'm guessing is not going to be a track we're going to see much driving improvement in next week. But to the top side of the podium, Kart Racer, arguably one of the cleanest drivers there out on track. The NLR man out on top. We'll have to do the maths in terms of where FER finished. But the way that Kart Racer approached that race, Kart Racer was back. Different Kart Racer compared to Circuit of the Americas, where 2 weeks ago he was completely off the place, out in Q1. Now he takes the race win in Hungary 2 weeks later.
Yeah, and honestly, that was just pure strategy there. Taking advantage of the safety car, pitting onto those hard tyres to go to the end, having the pace and the confidence to keep himself right there at the top on the safety car restart, and just pulling that gap when he needed to once it all broken down.
Yeah, definitely so, but Kart Racer takes the win. I mean, if you predicted that top 3, well done. Kart Racer wins, Max van der Geist in 2nd. Tajin there from 18th on the grid up to 3rd. Technically, he was P20 after a slight spin through turn number 1 as well. And with a broken floor, even more remarkable. Kinsick's there in 4th, Demongel there in 5th, Max Power there in 6th, Snipes there in 7th, Fraser in 8th, Toby in 9th, and Grosny ran off the top 10. And only one driver who started in the top 6 has finished in the top 4 here, and that is Kinsick from 2nd on the grid down to 4th in the end. Snipes being the other one, 6th down to 7th. Grosny there in 10th, rounding off the points though. Kieran in 11th, Jordy in 12th, Joachim in 13th. He gets fastest lap as well, so he will get a fastest lap point for that. Timo in 14th, Rodaz in 15th, Urpek in 16th, and now we come to the DNFers, including Urpek, Stretch, Oni Kutsuni, Marlon, and Chris. JR did not have their luck at all, and I can totally understand from their point perspective why this race should have been restarted. If it should have been restarted or not, it will go down really into the night, I think, with that. But the JR team, very, very annoyed, and now they're more fighting out to hang on to P3 than they would to be catching NLR and FBR, and they will feel that they've been absolutely robbed. And I'm totally in agreement with them.
Yeah, JR will definitely be feeling a little bit aggrieved after this race, to say the least. But honestly, the one thing that has come out of it, NLR, they no longer overtake FER in the standings. It's, was it 13 points gained or 12 for the fastest lap?
And FER 12, and yeah, Joachim with that fastest lap point 13. NLR picked up first 25. If Urpek finished 3rd, it would have been different. It would have been different, but then again, everything happens in Formula 1 for a reason, and that just did well and truly work in the favour there. And to remind you well of what is to come, Singapore next week, that can go in the bin, to be honest. I think Singapore, I hate that track. But hopefully it'll be better driving standards, hopefully it'll be better racing, hopefully less desync, hopefully less lag as well. And then we go for the finale, the day after the Eurovision Grand Final in Brazil. And that is always a good season finale here for the NLR Esports League of Season 3. But Mike, your first time in the commentary box, not the best first time, I've got to say, but thoroughly enjoyable, especially the second half of the race and especially some of the moves later on.
Honestly, for the first half of the race, I thought basically they were doing their favourite Ivor Brim Mike tribute. I can't lie, because the amount of spins and everything, like, you know, I really thought they were doing an Ivor Brim Mike tribute, and I very much appreciated it.
Very much appreciate it. I mean, Tajin there in the chat. I've just seen Tajin in the Discord chat say, "Does anyone want an autograph?" I think I will be wanting his autograph. I think after that race, phenomenal drive from him. We are going to look into, though, any alleged desync. Please do send any POVs in to the admin team and to the stewards, and even to us as commentators as well. We might have got things completely wrong on the stream end compared to what we did actually when we watch it back, and that's every single time I'm a commentator and I see a move and I call it live and it's different, and I see the opinion afterwards and it's different, and it might well be the case there. But we will decide whether the result is going to stand. I have a feeling, just because of all the carnage that happened a little bit early on, I have a feeling, certainly from a few teams' perspective, certainly from JR's perspective, certainly from an FBR perspective, I think there as well, this race could be voided, but then again, it's only my opinion. I'm only one person in this wheel. It is up to the admin team and it's up to the guys in the NLR Esports League for us to discuss, and obviously we'll bring you up to date on what will happen in terms of whether or not Hungary does get rerun. If it does, then if it gets rerun is a different thing, but we do get to Singapore next week, which I think is a track where we could see some good overtakings, could see some good action. It's going to be full qualifying as well, so hopefully drivers will be aware of that. At least they'll have their setups on as well, unlike a few potentially here. But that will end us up for this afternoon. Big thank you to Mr. Arvid Mike for joining me in the comment box, and we will see you once again next week for Singapore. So for myself and for Mike, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.